You want nuance on my libertarian free will take, but you accept I may not provide it. Why do you think I won't provide it? Do you think I'm a coward, Night Coffee? Do you think... Alright, so first we need to go over what libertarian free will is. Libertarian free will is the philosophical belief that our choices are quite literally free from anything. That means scientific causality does not affect our choices. That means human nature does not affect our choices. That means no religious god or whatever affects our choices. It believes that even if you think something is affecting your choices, it's not. Like, let's say you just came home from a hard day at work and you're exhausted and you're trying to decide whether you're going to cook or not. Other forms of free will or determinism believe that that is going to influence what you do. You might likely not cook or are determined to not cook, depending on which theory you're going by, based on the fact that you are now exhausted. Libertarian free will believes that that influence is an illusion, that you are always equally as likely to cook or not cook, regardless of your state before. People who believe in libertarian free will believe that it is necessary for morality to exist. Because if the things you do are influenced by anything ever, even a tiny bit, then you cannot necessarily say that they are ever your fault. Their words, not mine. For example, if you say, rob the bank. If libertarian free will weren't true, according to the people who believe in it, then you couldn't just punish the person who robbed the bank. You would have to punish the person who fired that person so that he didn't have money to rob the bank. And then you would have to punish the person who put that person in power. And then you would have to punish the person that allowed that power structure to exist in the first place. Because all of them are at fault, so they all deserve responsibility. But that doesn't work, so the only conclusion we could come to is that individual total free will exists. I think that is stupid. For that to be the case, all of psychology would have to be completely bunk. And one of the things that really rubs me the way about people who espouse the virtues of libertarian free will is that a lot of them don't believe in mental illness, because mental illness affects your behavior, and if anything affects your behavior, libertarian free will is false. And as someone with many mental illnesses, that really grinds my gears. There are many discussions when it comes to the free will versus determinism debate, but libertarian free will is the stupidest free will, in my opinion. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that people just can't deal with the idea that we are not suitably equipped to be morally perfect at any point. Because yeah, if the guy who robbed the bank didn't get fired, he wouldn't have robbed the bank. So the person who fired him is partially at fault, but the universe is messy. And we're messy, so we don't perfectly punish people, and it's crazy to think that perfect punishment is even a thing that needs to exist. In fact, it's kind of crazy that punishment needs to exist. In double and triple fact, punishment is antithetical to libertarian free will, because what is that punishment accomplishing if, at the end of the day, it still has no influence over you? And so libertarian free will tends to be very popular in, politically conservative circles, where they believe that punishment isn't an attempt to fix a social wrong, but rather just retribution that you need to do to bad people. Because they do believe that the punishment will not affect someone's behavior in the future, but they still believe that bad people should be punished, that pain should be caused for pain given. And as a leftist who believes in rehabilitation, I don't vibe with that. Anyway, that's the big philosophical side. The political side is just... libertarianism doesn't work. The reason we have governments, the reason we have societies is because we put constraints on each other to make sure that we run properly. If we lived in a libertarian world, the people who had the most money and resources would be able to do the most stuff. And it doesn't matter if those resources were ill-gotten. It doesn't matter if those resources came at someone else's expense. Everyone would be free to use their resources however they see fit against anyone else, anywhere. And as a leftist who believes in rehabilitation, I don't vibe with that. And whenever libertarian state experiments have been run, they tend to not end well. Like Overrun by Bears not end well. So yeah, both libertarian free will and libertarian politics and economics are kinda dumb. And I am still hurt that you thought I would not provide the nuance on this, especially when one of my mutuals suggested it. You owe me a coffee. At night.